Morning, student. Already we have discussed the second chapter of science, that is class 6th, that is components of food. In previous videos we have learned what is the component of food, what is nutrients, what is ingredients. So in first chapter we have also know the term called ingredients. We know the meaning of ingredients. So in this chapter, components of food, also we have learned that what do different food items contains. What do different food items contains. This already I have discussed in previous video. So just we go through once so that we will recall what do different food items contains. So what do different food item contains? So as you all know, the dish which is prepared in kitchen or at home by your mom, if the dishes usually contains one or more ingredients. Dish contains one or more ingredients. One or more ingredients. It is present in the food items. So this one or more ingredients which are often from plants and animals. This ingredients contains what it contains? It contains some components or components. It contains component which is required for our body, which is required. These components, these ingredients are present in the components. This component contains ingredients which are required by our body. These components are called what? Nutrients. These nutrients required in our body. So what are those nutrients? What are the components of these nutrients? So already we studied two kinds of nutrients or components which are present in our body. That is energy component, another is non-energy components. What are energy components? Energy components are what? First one is carbohydrates. Another second one is protein. Next, third one is fats, or we can say lipids. These are the energy components, that is carbohydrates, protein, fats. What about non-energy components? Non-energy components. Non-energy components are other nutrients which are also required in our body to carry out our life process. So other that is, we can say vitamins. Second one is vitamins. That is second one is dietary fiber. Then third one is water. These are the other nutrients which you require in our body. So these are non-energy. Again, one more is there, that is for the minerals. So already we discussed regarding this energy components and non-energy components. Also we discussed about nutrients. So this all carbohydrates, protein, fats, vitamins, dietary fibers, water, minerals, these are all nutrients. So these are all called components. Components of foods are carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, dietary fiber, water and minerals. So we'll discuss today, does all food contains all these nutrients? Does all food in all food we found all these nutrients. We'll test today whether the cooked food or raw ingredients contains one or more of these nutrients or not. Got it now? Today we'll discuss. So now we'll carry out a test whether these food items contains one or more ingredients and nutrients or not. Got it now? Whether it is, we will take a food which is cooked or raw material or raw ingredients, ready-made food that we'll take and we'll test to know whether these food items contains nutrients or not. Got it now? First, before testing the food items, we require some raw materials or some instrument or materials. So we will to carry out this test. But before that, I will discuss to test the presence of nutrients in these food items. Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins are easier to test compared to vitamins, minerals, and water. Got it now? So it is easy to test carbohydrate, proteins, and fats. So before we require some certain materials that is required to conduct a test. In order to conduct a test for finding out the nutrients which are present in the food items, we required materials. What are the materials required? First one is iodine. The next one is caustic soda. Third one is copper sulfate. Copper, Cl, PH, copper sulfate. What? Then also we required what? Test tube. Then also we required dropper. These are the materials required to test whether the food items contains these nutrients or not. Got it now? So materials, these are required. So if materials, these solutions we have to prepare. If it is not available in ready-made form, we have to prepare it. How we are making this iodine solution? So you have to make a dilute iodine solution. Dilute iodine solution. Dilute means its presence of water. Dilute means what? The presence of it. Dilute means it's talking about presence of water. Dilute means it is talking about presence of water. This iodine contains some dissolved water. So this dilute iodine solution is made by few drops of iodine. Iodine plus few drops of iodine is mixed with half filled test tube with water. Got it? So dilute iodine solution is prepared by adding few drops of iodine plus half filled test tube with water in a test tube. If you find a test tube is, if find in your test book, test tube will be like this. This is test tube. This is what? Test tube. Tube-like structure having a cylindrical tube. This is called test tube. In this test tube, you have to half filled. Half filled means half of the test tube is filled with water and a few drops of iodine is dissolved. Got it now? Then this dilute iodine solution is prepared. Then what about caustic soda? Caustic soda, you take caustic soda, you take 10 gram. Take 10 gram of this caustic soda. plus you add 10 gram of caustic soda, add 100 milliliters of water, 100 milliliters of 100 ml of water. What is these are prepared. This caustic soda, this solution is prepared. What about copper sulfate? Copper sulfate is also prepared. Copper sulfate is prepared by taking 2 drops of this copper sulfate. I can write in chemical form CuSO4. This is copper sulfate, chemical name. What is that? 2 drops of copper sulfate plus this is also 100 ml of water. 100 ml of water. This is how these solutions are prepared. After preparing this solution, we have to go for test. So we require test tube. This is dropper. Dropper will be like this. So dropper will be like this. So this dropper. Originally I drawn this picture, but initially it will be rubber and with some tube like structure, conical shape structure. What is that? This is dropper. This is dropper. Here it is there. This is dropper. What is that? So before testing we have to prepare. So here iodine, that is dilute, means water contents. Dilute indicates the presence of water. Dilute iodine solution is prepared by few drops of iodine plus are filled with water in the test tube, are mixed together to form a dilute iodine solution. Then next 10 gram of caustic soda. Soda you are using in kitchen. What is that? That soda, that 10 grams of caustic soda plus 100 milliliters of water. They are added together and mixed and form a solution. Then next 2 drops of copper sulfate plus 100 milliliter of water. They are mixed together to form a solution of copper sulfate. So after preparation of this solution, we will go for test. Let us carry some test on food items. To carry out test, first we will test for carbohydrate. In carbohydrate, but there are many types of carbohydrates. But the carbohydrates which are present in our food items in the form of starch and sugar. So carbohydrate, test for carbohydrate. Test for carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, that is starch and sugar. There are different types of carbohydrates, but the carbohydrates which are present in our food items usually contains starch and sugar. First we will test for starch. So to carry out this starch, we require the solution, that is iodine, dilute iodine solution, caustic soda, then copper sulfate, and also we require test tube and a dropper. So you take one container. What is that? Take one container. Take raw food or cooked food items. What is that? Placed in the container. I am taking raw food. Suppose this is a raw food. I am taking raw food. Place in the container. What is that? After placing, you add some iodine solution. What you have to add? With a dropper. What is? With a dropper, you add iodine solution. What is that? Iodine solution. This is what? This is dropper. You add 2 to 3 drop of iodine solution. You add in these food items 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution. After some time, you will observe there is a change in color in the food item. What you will see? There is a change in color. Change in color. You will find change in color. So what you observe from these food items? You will observe that does it appears like the color of blue black? It is turn into blue black. If it is turning into blue black, that indicates that it contains starch. It contains, if it is containing blue black, so it indicates that there is a presence of starch. Got it now? Simple. So take one container, take raw food or cooked food, and with the help of dropper, put 2 to 3 drops of dilute iodine solution, which we have prepared. Got it? 2 to 3 drops. After putting 2 to 3 drops of, you'll observe after some time that the food items slowly it changing its color. The color is you observe the color is blue black. If it is blue black, make sure that it indicates that the presence of starch. So these food items contain starch. The starch also called as carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is a part of components of food, or we can say nutrients. So does this food item contains nutrients? Yes, because these food items contain starch. How you identify this presence of starch? By adding 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution. By adding 2 to 3 iodine solution, the color changes into blue black. Therefore, we are sure that it contains some nutrients. Got it now? So we are understood test for carbohydrates. Completed. So starch and sugar. In between the starch and sugar, starch is easy to test whether it is content nutrients or not. Easy to test as compared to sugar. So we'll go for next test. So now we'll test for protein. Test for food. Repeat this test for other food items, whether the food items contain starch or not. Got it now? So initially we talk about only one food items. We can variety of food items are we have, so we can test for other food items also in the similar way. Got it now? Now we will test for protein. In test for protein, first, before testing this protein, our food items, it is available in a solid form. It is available in a solid form. If it is available in solid form, that is raw food or cooked food, if it is available solid form, then make sure that you need to convert it and make it fast. And make it fast. What it? Make it fast or powder it. Make it fast or powder it. After making it fast, you have to grind or mash that food items. Mash food items. After this grinding and mashing of food items, you make a bowl, small bowl, food items. You place it in a test tube. After you place it in a test tube, small balls. These food items. This is a fast form. Fast, not solid. This is fast form or powder form. You make it you place in the test tube. Now what you have to do after placing test tube? Now this is a clean test tube. We put in clean test. Now add 10 drops of water. What you have to add? 10 drops of water with the help of dropper. Now add 10 drops of water. Add what? 10 drops of water. 10 drops of water. Then after adding 10 drops of water, you shake that test tube. You shake it well. After properly mixed with these food items, the water is mixed with this food item. Now you have to add using dropper. Now you have to add using dropper. Now you have to add 2 drops of what? 2 drops of copper sulfate. That is CuSO4. That is copper sulfate. I can write here, that is copper sulfate. Copper sulfate. After adding copper sulfate plus, now 2 drops of copper sulfate by using dropper you added in the test tube. Got it now? Next you 10 drops of caustic soda. Caustic soda. After adding both these 2 drops of copper sulfate plus 10 drops of caustic soda, you, after adding in this test tube with the help of dropper, you shake it well. After shaking, you keep this test tube for a few minutes. What do you observe? You observe that after some time the contents in this test tube slowly turning into a violet color. What color? Violet color. Changing violet. Violet color. If the contents which are present in the test tube converted into a violet color, that it indicates what? Indicates presence of protein. Got it now? So again I'm going to explain. Test for protein. For testing the food items which contains proteins or nutrients, we require that food. Make sure that food must be in paste or powder form. Solid form is converted into paste or powder form, and then grind or mash food items and put in the test tube. After putting in the test tube, you add 10 drops of water. After adding 10 drops of water, again you add with the help of dropper 2 drops of copper sulfate plus 10 drops of caustic soda. After adding this all, you shake it well and keep for some few minutes. After few minutes, you will observe the contents which contained by this test tube slowly converted into a violet color. So if violet color is present in the food items, then make sure that it indicates the presence of protein. So we already know regarding test for protein in the food items. So now next we will test for fats. This is easy method. Test for fats. Test for fats. For testing fats, you take small quantity of food item, cooked or raw ingredients. What is now? Take these food items, warp in pepper. Take one piece of pepper. You keep these food items in that pepper and warp it. After warping, you'll find if this contains some oily parts, it will indicate that the pepper will become transparent. It will show transparent. The oily parts, it will, after some time, if you observe that pepper, it will have a transparent. You can see other side of the object. Through this pepper, you can see other side of the object, because the presence of oily parts in the pepper making it transparent pepper. So we come to know that food items which are kept in the pepper, and if you warp it, the oily foods, it will make the pepper transparent. You can see other parts of the object through this pepper, because the oily parts makes the pepper transparent. Got it now? Also, this food items also sometimes contains water. So make sure that you after warping the food items in the pepper, you make sure that you dry in the sunlight for some time, so that water parts which will be dry off. If it is not showing any oily parts, or it is not showing any transparent pepper, so you come to know that there is no presence of oily parts or fats. Got it now? So regarding these 3 tests, we learned that we can test for variety of food items, whether these food items contain nutrients or not. Got it now? But we have test for carbohydrate, protein, fats. Got it now? We have test for carbohydrate, protein, fats. What about others? That is vitamins, minerals. What about other components? we will study regarding them detail in the next coming videos. Got it now? So I hope you understood today's class, that test for carbohydrate, test for protein, test for fats. So today's class will be this much. Okay, I hope you understood. Any doubt, anything, you ask me in the comment section or through WhatsApp. Got it now? Don't keep any doubts in your mind. It will make complicated in the days to go. Later on you will be confused. So make sure that each and every doubts must be clear now only itself. Got it now? So thank you. Have a good day. Stay home. Stay safe. Thank you.